The Last of Us Remastered has an ESRB rating of M for mature. That's 17 and over for blood and gore, intense violence, strong language, sexual themes, and use of alcohol.
Oh, perfect.
Now what?
Screw it.
Starting to die.
Easy!
Please!
Holy shit!
Help!
Are we gonna help him?
Put your seatbelt on, Ellie.
Well, what about the guy?
He ain't even hurt.
Alone and sick from my feet and my stand. Oh Lord, if you hear me, hold my hand.
Dang! Hello everyone and welcome back to a very special episode of Is It Worth It? And why is it special, you ask? Well, it's because it's my very first PS4 game review. And what game shall be the one that gets to premiere on my little show? Well, boys and girls, I'd like to review for you The Last of Us Remastered Edition, an exclusive for the PS4. As always, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for future episodes. And finally, my name is Rox, your host of the show, and don't forget, mi casa is su casa, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the review. I first heard of The Last of Us almost 4 years ago, and I was disappointed when I found out that it would be a PS3 exclusive, only because I only owned the Xbox 360. I honestly thought I would buy a PS3 by the time the game came out, but it didn't happen, and I missed the title when it was finally released in 2013. But now times have changed. There is a new system out, and we have a new remastered version of The Last of Us, and this time I own the game. So was it worth getting a new system just for this game? Well, here are my thoughts. The game has a huge emphasis on story. You can tell by the gameplay. It is very story driven. There is a lot of dialogue between the characters, laying down the foundation of the main campaign. During these long cinematics and even walkthroughs, you are mostly being shown what the world has decayed to. In the beginning, there is so much the game is establishing that the actual gameplay doesn't begin until almost 20 minutes past the cinematics and walkthroughs. During that time, you are mostly walking and keeping up with Tess as she explains the situation of what's gone down. You don't really notice this long tutorial until you play New Game Plus. You'll quickly realize how long it actually takes to start the game. Now, the first time you play this game is when it counts, because everything is a surprise and a learning experience. So let me tell you about mine.
We're here.
The game is story driven, so it does an incredible job pulling you in from the start. It all begins with an outbreak.
There you are.
Sarah, are you okay?
Yeah?
Does anyone come in here?
No, who would come in here?
Don't go near the doors. Just stand back there.
Dad, you're kind of freaking me out. What's going on?
It's the Coopers. Something ain't right with them. I think they're sick.
What kind of sick?
Jimmy!
Dad?
Honey, come here. Come here. Jimmy! Jimmy, I am warning you! Go!
This is the prologue. Here is where one of the main characters, Joel, is being introduced, and also the collapse of society. It is here where we get to know Joel as a person and who he will become in the later years. We flash forward 20 years later, and now we see how civilization has collapsed. Cities and towns have fallen and deteriorated over the years. Mother Nature has claimed what's left of buildings and homes. Everything is covered in plants and trees. Those who have survived are living in a mad world. What's left of civilization is the quarantine zone where most of the populace live. And outside of the zone live the others, hunters and fireflies, who live by their own rules. Our story begins when Tess and Joel try to recover some stolen weapons from an arms dealer named Robert when they find out that he has sold their supplies to the leader of the Fireflies, a woman named Marlene.
Come on, it won't
Who
like
has
that.
our guns?
I can't. Just give me a couple.
Who has our guns?
It's the Fireflies. I owe the Fireflies.
What?
Look, they're basically all dead. We could just go in there, finish them off. We get the guns. What do you say? Come on. Yeah, fuck those Fireflies. Let's go get them.
That is a stupid idea.
Tess felt she had no more reason to keep Robert alive, and so she executed him. This sets the tone that human life no longer means anything. Marlene promises to return the supplies and then some if Tess and Joel agree to deliver a package.
Hey, we're smuggling her?
There's a crew of Fireflies that'll meet you at the Capitol building.
That's not exactly close.
You're capable. You hand her off, come back, the weapons are yours. Double what Robert sold me.
Speaking of which, where are they?
Back in our camp.
We're not smuggling shit until I see them.
Once Joel and Tess agree to take Ellie to her destination, we begin a huge cross-country journey through what's left of the world and the dangers of the new. The scenery is beautiful and sometimes scary. The PlayStation 4 shows off its amazing graphic with this title. I was very impressed with the visuals from both indoor and outdoor settings. There is a soundtrack, but not an obvious one, that plays through the gameplay. Most of the time you are left alone with the ambience of the settings, which adds a sense of solitude and emptiness. You only hear the natural sounds of the environments around you. I couldn't help but sometimes just take it all in. You really felt the absence of humanity walking through the vacant towns and suburbs.
Yeah.
The gameplay is a third-person shooter. It's an action-adventure game with the stealth at its core. You sneak around many areas to either silently take down enemy or simply avoid them altogether. There are also noisemakers like bricks and bottles that are used to be thrown in order to attract enemy to a certain area or make them investigate an area away from you so you can slip by them. Joel uses a listen feature to which he can pinpoint where the enemy is in the area and you can see them through the walls. Now, since this game is a post-pandemic adventure, your basic tools and weapons are carried with you in your backpack. You start off with a knife and a pistol. Now, as you explore and search areas, you find tools and supplies so that Joel can assemble medkits, molotovs, and explosives. There is also a workbench in various places where Joel can customize his weapons by upgrading them to carry more ammo, reduce recoil, or raise the rate of fire. There's also pills in the games that must be collected in order to raise Joel's abilities, like raising his listening sensor, raising his life meter, and things like that. Now, there are different difficulties other than easy, normal, and hard. There is also survivor and grounded, which basically means the higher the difficulty, the less supplies you find throughout your journey, and the tougher the enemy. In grounded, you have no HUD, and the enemy is more deadlier and more aware of your presence. I played it on normal for the sake of finishing this review, but I'm going to go back and replay it on the hardest difficulty. Once you finish the game, there is a new game plus, which means that all of your weapons and progress of abilities get transferred to your new game without having to rebuild everything from the start. Unfortunately, you don't get it from the start when you first get your backpack. In fact, you get all your weapons in order of the story's campaign, but when you do get your weapons, they are at the levels you last left them at. So even in the new game plus, you only start off with the pistol, but at least it's fully upgraded and carries more ammo than when you first got it. Through the majority of the gameplay, you play as Joel, but later in the game, for reasons I don't want to reveal spoilers, you do get to control Ellie for a small portion of the game. However, in the added DLC, which is included in the remastered version, Left Behind, you control Ellie for all of that gameplay. Left Behind tells the story of Ellie's time with her friend Riley before she hooked up with the Fireflies and later with Joel. During the gameplay of Left Behind, like I said, we play as Ellie entering a mall in search of supplies, but we are also introduced to the last time she was at the mall with her friend Riley. The gameplay switches between the current time and her past memories of her last time there. controlling Ellie and Joel are very similar, and they both have the same techniques of building and assembling items. Now, there are several different types of threats in this game. You have your humans with guns, and then you have your special infected, zombies or whatever you want to call them. There are 4 different types of infected. Each have their own levels of infection and strengths. The more common and lethal of all of them are the clickers. They can't see, but they use a sonar sound to determine movement, and if they sense you, they charge and it's an instant death. That's another thing. Thank God this game has an autosave feature, because surprisingly, even at a normal difficulty, this game is very hard. Alerting the infected can get you easily overwhelmed and killed. I died a lot in certain areas. This game really gives you a challenge that really makes you plan out your stealth gameplay and best sneaking. Because if they so much hear a branch break up from underneath your feet, forget it, run! There is also plenty of collectibles to hunt down and unlock special skins for Joel and Ellie, as well as concept art and special tints for the game, like black and white and old picture film or something. Also, this game does you the favor of replaying chapters and sub-chapters if you wish to go back and find missed items. And it also gives you a counter so that you know exactly how many are left for you to find. Now let's talk about the multiplayer. In the remastered version you get all of the map packs, so that's good. It's expected, right? Well, the multiplayer has only 3 game modes: Supply Raid, Survivors, and Interrogation. Let me tell you, I really like the multiplayer gameplay. It's awesome. Basically, you're either on the Hunter side or Fireflies. It's all versus, and the 2 groups meet each other in various locations from the campaign to find supplies and eliminate the other team. What I like about this gameplay is that it plays exactly as the campaign. Out in the field, you find supply boxes, and in them, you find items for you to assemble, the same gadgets that Joel assembles from the campaign, like Molotovs, explosive, medkits, and knives. The maps are huge and multi-layered. You can hide just about anywhere and sneak up on your opponent for a stealthy kill or ambush them from a vantage point. All the gameplays have a huge emphasis on teamwork. I'm still getting used to understanding the purpose of the population count, but as I understand it, there is a story going on in the multiplayer where after every match you are shown how many survivors you brought back with you and supplies to maintain your group or faction. In the multiplayer menu, you are shown how many people are healthy, sick, or hungry, so it's important that you do well in each match. There is also this time frame where you are given special objectives to complete in order to keep up your people happy, because if you fail, I guess people will die. Like I said, I'm still getting used to the whole story behind the multiplayer. Aside from the crazy story, the gameplay is solid and fun to play. But like I said, you must work with your team, very much like in Gears of War. If one member goes down, make sure to pick him up, because you are more effective in numbers. Now the number count, I've only seen them go up to 4 versus 4. Not sure if it goes higher than that. Now for what I don't like about the multiplayer. First off, the menu is confusing and less to be desired. The HUD is not set up like most multiplayer games, which led to some confusion on how to understand it, and quite frankly, it looks dull. Second, there are items to unlock, but it's limited to only headdress. Not kidding, you only unlock hats, masks, and helmets. That's it. Also, you can't customize or choose a sex for your avatar. It's all pre-selected for you before every match. The only thing that you take with you of your choosing is your headdress, which I thought was lame. Naughty Dog, let us customize everything, man. What the heck? Also, if you want to purchase even better looking headdress, you can from a huge list of items from the PlayStation Store. I mean, look at this thing. It's ridiculously long. Who has the money to buy everything in this list? I mean, come on, they're nickeling and diming us for even the littlest customization in these games. It's getting ridiculous, really. Also, call me spoiled, but I think the bow and arrow in the new Tomb Raider is easier to use than on here. The arrows curve, and they don't bring down enemies like I hoped. They don't even stagger them. So what's in the remastered version? Well, here's a list of things why it's better to buy it on the PS4 if you don't already own it on the PS3. First of all, Lara gets another facelift. I'm kidding, I'm just kidding. No facelift here, but apparently much improved graphics. You get the DLC of Left Behind, all the multiplayer maps, and the grounded difficulty. Now what I don't like about the game. Well, the AI companions can be dumb sometimes. They'll sometimes walk right into the open, right in front of the enemy, and depending on the enemy, they'll either see them or ignore them, which completely throws you out of the moment. This leads me to a feature I wish this game had. I wish I could tell Ellie and my companions to stay at a safe spot while I went out and cleared out an area. There were a lot of moments when I wish I was by myself instead of taking the entire group with me, trying to protect them and me. Although they would come to my rescue if I got in trouble, but more often than not, I'd die and have to start over anyway, so it would be pointless for them to be around me. Or maybe have the option of dictating their movements to attract enemy to them and giving me a chance to sneak attack behind them. It's just that if you play a lot of stealth games and have to have companions, it's a feature you must always have, and it doesn't exist in this game.
Stop! Stop!
Fucking touch me!
Okay, it's me! It's me! It's me! Look! It's me.
He tried to...
Oh, baby girl.
Okay, well here's judgment time. Is The Last of Us Remastered worth your time and money? Hell yes it is. The incredible story pulls you into an immersive storyline and gives you characters you really care about. The relationship between Joel and Ellie is touching and emotional. Very much like the Telltale games of the Walking Dead series where you care about Lee and Clementine. You get attached to Joel and Ellie and you want to make everything possible to keep them safe. They are amazingly acted by their voice talents and their motion captures really bring them to life. The campaign, although slow sometimes, is never really a dull moment. The pacing is to establish the sincere bond between the characters and the intensity of the situations. The graphics are amazingly beautiful and sharp, even in low light settings. Check out the beautiful horizons in the day and you'll be in awe on how rich everything looks. The stealth gameplay works very well, very easy to navigate, very easy to perform takedowns. And the addition of the Left Behind DLC is a huge plus, including all the multiplayer maps for the addictive multiplayer, and they only ask for it is $49.99, and it has a high replayability. I can't speak for the original release, but the remastered version, well worth it, $49.99. Heck, I would even given it its full retail price of $60 because it's well worth it. No regrets for this purchase at all, and that includes my purchase for the PS4 for this game. I'm so happy I got it. As always, if you guys are interested in the opinions of other websites, here they are.
What?
I'm serious about the multiplayer. It's really that good. It plays just like the gameplay, except the AI. It's actually other players. The menus and customization suck, but the gameplay is solid. I might even consider making it into a series. I don't know. We'll see. So yeah, I finally did my first PS4 review and I'm so happy the way it came out. If you guys liked it, please support the channel by sharing the video, liking the video, and most important, subscribing if you are new. Also, it looks like we finally might be getting out of the dry season of new video games, so keep a lookout for future episodes. Also, if you subscribe, you get to check out more informative reviews and gameplay video that's not only educational, but also discussion worthy. As always, you guys, my name is Rox, and I'll catch up with you guys next time.
Is everything you were hoping for?
It's got its ups and downs, but you can't deny the view, though.
Hello everyone, Rox here with a message that I want your support for this channel. Help me reach 100,000 subscribers by 2015, and we can do this by sharing my reviews, rants, and commentaries on every social media on the web. All you need to do is share, like, comment, and make sure to subscribe. It's free, fast, and easy. You guys, sincerely, in advance, I want to say thank you for your support and encouragement to keep coming back, because you never know when I'll be putting something else up that you might like. Again, you guys, don't forget to share the video and subscribe. My name is Rox, and I'll see you guys next time.